Give me my phone and I go. So just give me my phone and I go. So give me my shit and I go.
Do what you gotta do.
Let me get my phone.
Do what you gotta do.
Why are you doing all this? What's your problem with me? What's your problem with me? What's your problem with me?
You on the way over where?
Let me get my phone. I'm finna get the tearing shit the fuck up. Give me my fucking phone.
Look, man, little bitches throwing it.
Come on.
Little
Cause
bitches
I'm
throwing tantrums and shit,
Cause I'm
man.
doing like I don't even know why we doing this. I ain't did shit to you, so why the fuck you
man,
fucking with
get
me?
your shit, man, bitch. Shit.
For real? Bitch.
Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Come on, man.
What is wrong with y'all? Over a song?
You be acting like a bitch.
I'ma hit this bitch, right?
You just did. You just did. The fuck you talking about?
Trust me,
What the fuck you talking about? What the fuck you talking about?
You better sit your ass down somewhere. Who the fuck you think you playing with, Shawty? Calm down. You want to catch, Shawty? You can't do shit to me. Come on, man. If I really want to hurt you, I can hurt you, Darcel. Sit your ass down.
Hey, y'all gonna fuck up my shit.
Do it. Do it. I'm fucking trying.
Are y'all serious for real? Y'all dead serious. I just want to know.
Get off the bed.
What is wrong with y'all? For real, seriously. I'm just laughing at y'all right now. That's
What you know
Fucking
about
hit me in my face.
Get the fuck away from me.
I don't fucking care for this. I don't fucking care. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Gotta go.
Do not fucking touch me. Do not fucking touch me.
Stay the fuck away from
Move.
me.
don't y'all stay with each other.
That's why he ain't got no TV
Your ass over there
now.
now, Shawty.
Stop, cause y'all gonna break my shit.
Go, man.
The fuck off me. The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Move.
You made me slam you on your fucking neck.
You just did. You just did.
Shawty, get the fuck away from me.
I thought y'all love each other. Can y'all stop, please?
Sit your ass down somewhere, Shawty. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is what you want? Is this what you want? God damn, God.
Chris, you gonna fuck up my CD. For real, come on. I'm trying to be cool, y'all. Come on. I understand. I know.
You punched me, Chris. You think I'm just gonna let that shit go?
Her hair's right there. I should put this shit on Warstar if I had to pay. If I didn't have to pay. Shalom Israel. Shalom, you know what it is. Take Ground Radio, Take Ground Breakdowns, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jenny Hanna, home of the truth. You know how we do it. We live at 5 every Wednesday. Let's get it going with our normal music. Man, this is how we do Take Ground Breakdowns, man. We do relationship advice live at 5 every Wednesday. Live at 5:30, Salaki, every Wednesday. Go over relationship advice, not only relationship with your significant other, husband, wife, but also even your kids, family, extended family, friends, co-workers, all of that, man. You bring them questions here today, man. Bring them questions in here so you ain't caught in no situation like these brothers is and these sisters is in these videos. If you catch yourself in a situation like this, you understand, brother and or female, you gotta remove yourself from them situations, man. You gotta remove yourself. You gotta say it's not worth it being here and dealing with it. Where you know. But I'll tell you another thing. Don't do. Call the UPK. Don't call the police. Call the UPK first. You understand? It could mean a lot. But what you don't want to do is keep entertaining in the demon of putting your hands on each other. You understand? One of you gotta stop. You understand? One of you gotta stop. And that's how that shit works, man. Let's play the song. Like I said, we live at 5. Ask those questions. Let's start getting those in. You know how we get down. Let's play one quick selection. My man Como Par.
That is bleak.
We won't stop, yeah. He won't stop, yeah. Blessed by the most high. With my motherfucking eyes, how you gonna stop? Stop, yeah. Blessed by the most high. With my motherfucking eyes, how you gonna stop it? You and what on me? Solana on my eye, we won't stop. Setting up zones, taking back the block. They don't wanna know what we be like. Home of the truth in the bed, gon' watch. Giving the word, making this move. We can't stop, we can't lose. At the school, starting new. One way school, lace your boots, call it the truth. I can go really straight out the damn zoo. Fuck with the I can, I pop it, you do. Everybody tryna be a Hebrew, yeah. Who the fucking with the one west? I don't know nobody in the flesh. Up in the news and we talk to the press. I'll put the sword to your neck. Who next to flex? I suggest you stay out the way. Won't feel like every day. Hey, one way to PK. Hey, ain't no other way. Hey, we won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop. Yeah, blessed by the most high. With my motherfucking eyes, how you gonna stop it? You and what on me? Won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop, yeah. Blessed by the most high. With my motherfucking eyes, how you gonna stop it? You and what on me?
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Let's get the questions going. Relationship advice, man. When you getting in heavy physical situations like that, you gotta leave the situation. I know it's easier said than done, because you might have got hit, so you might want to get your hit back, or you might be pissed off, you might be extremely mad about what happened. Uh, but you don't want to continually to fight, right? You don't want to continue to fight in those type of situations, man. You don't want to do it. You understand? It's better for you. It's better for you to leave that situation, avoid that situation. So put this value down. All right, let me know if the volume is too overbearing or anything. The music is too overbearing or anything like that. Uh, but you know what time it is, man. Winter's almost over. We got another big storm coming through the whole country. You know what I mean? You're going to be indoors with your loved ones and your family. If it's constant fights and arguments, sometimes you can't go outside. It's freezing rain. It's freezing cold. You don't have a license. You don't have a car. You're going to have to de-escalate, man. You're going to have to de-escalate. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn how to forgive. That's the hard part, man. We talk about forgiving and loving and not having no hate for the white man all the time. But when are you gonna forgive your people, the same people as you? When you gonna learn how to forgive them? You understand? That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take a level of forgiveness. and that's where we don't want to go with it. We want to get them back. We want to hit them back. We want to hit them where it hurts. That's what women always want to do. Men want to do it too. And that's the one thing Christ talked about to not do. You know, you're in some volatile relationship, volatile situation. You don't you're gonna have to forgive. Without that, how can the Lord forgive you? So you're gonna have to forgive. You're gonna have to learn how to forgive, and that's the part we missing. The part we're trying to see, uh, the hard thing. Um, it's easier for a man to take a city than to basically control his emotions. I'm paraphrasing, but controlling those emotions and is the battle that we all face. That's the battle that really matters. And sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, you have to fight that demon. Sisters, you're gonna have to fight that demon putting your hands on brothers. That's the main issue. And sisters now are more empowered putting their hands on brothers because of the police. Because they feel like they can always call the police and the police are gonna take their back. That's basically an imbalance. That's why. Because there's such an imbalance of injustice in this place that people believe they can get away with crime. Sisters believe they can get away with crime. Putting your hands on a brother is a fucking crime. Both those situations, the woman was the aggressor when it came to physically putting their hands on another person. Both of those instances, it was a crime, and those brothers were defending themselves. It's not against the law to defend yourself, man. You have to defend yourself, right? That's what you do. But you have to have forgiveness, sisters and brothers and sisters. You gotta have forgiveness, and don't call the ISUPK. You should have the city of an ISUPK school near you. We're in every major city. Even if we're not, it don't matter. The counsel over the phone is good enough. If you can get to that counsel over the phone, then you can really do something amazing. You can really get to hear those words, or maybe talk it out. Before there was no talking. Before there was nothing else to talk about. And so that split second of a phone call could mean the difference between life or death, jail and freedom. So that's why it's important to have a support system. Now, that one video, it was a brother. He's arguing with his woman. I think he's at his buddy's house, but his buddy's recording, which is the right thing to do. But another thing that his buddy is not doing, he's not checking that bitch. Excuse my language. He's not you see your friend getting attacked by his girl. You sitting there recording and laughing, talking about it. Y'all serious? Y'all serious? I'm gonna put it on World Star. You should be telling her to stop that shit. You and your friend should be a united front against him being assaulted, man. You shouldn't let your friend, your buddy get assaulted. Not you have to jump in and assault her or anything like that, but you should be a voice telling this woman to stop. Same with a man. If it's a man beating on a woman and another woman's watching, she should be a voice to tell him to stop. But that, you don't have to say that. She got a phone number, 3 digits to call to help to get that man arrested. But men don't really have that in our mind to just call 911 because a female putting their hands on him because a female's assaulting him. When he's in his right to call, he's in his right to call 911 to not be to not himself be falsely accused. But he's in his right to do that. But his buddy should be backing him up. But that's not we don't promote that in the UPK. You know, every man call the police on his woman every time she do something to him. Sometimes he may have to just to protect himself. But when you have another man there that's your friend, you got to back him up with your voice. You be screaming, yelling at this woman to keep her fucking hands to herself. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have to do as a nation. Keep your hands to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you may think you getting away with it because the white man let you get away with it. But the Most High ain't going to let you get away with it. You forget that even though the white man is unjust, there's somebody higher than him that regardeth the matter. So women, you're not going to get away with assaulting men. Likewise, men, you're not going to get away with assaulting women. So that's what you see, man. Winter's almost over. Make sure you're getting some sunlight. Getting some fresh air. That's also important for your mental health, man. That fresh oxygen to your brain. That's important. Let's get some questions going. Let's get the relationship questions going. Ask your questions, man. Relationship advice. Take Ground Radio. Take Ground Breakdown. 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You never know when the time is up. You never know when that demon come calling. You never know what demons your spouse or your significant other or your friend or your loved one or your close friend or co-workers fight. You don't know the demons that they fight. But you need to be aware. You need to be aware at all times. And when it happens, you have to make the right decision. You have to make the right decision. Call the UPK. That's the right decision. Call the UPK. Call that number, man. Go to ishupk.com. Get the city and state. Go to Google. Google Maps. Type in the Israelite School of UPK. Israelite School. And save that number in your phone. Call that number in case of emergency. You never know when a split second event could change your life. I'm sure them brothers and these sisters in the videos we watched didn't plan on fighting that day. I'm sure it kind of popped up. But it's being aware. It's being aware before these things happen that you have the right counsel. You get the right counsel in the Israelite School of UPK. You're going to get the right counsel in the Israelite School of UPK. We trained to deal with this stuff. We trained to make sure our people is okay. When the Christian churches is out singing and dancing, the Israelite School of UPK are dealing with these issues, with the issues of our people, these relationship issues of our people. And we're not making movies that exacerbate the problems in the black community. Movies where brothers cheating and getting them paralyzed and women burning up cars. Come here to get that help that we never received from that Christian church. The ISUPK is here. All right. Got a question here. Mhm. All right. What are some precautions I can take around the house when I'm unclean, not to make my Adawan unclean? No sweat, no sweat. He said, like when it comes to cooking and cleaning. Now, if you're unclean, you can still serve a brother some food. And it's not, okay, you touched the plate, now he touched the plate, he's going to be unclean with you. That's not how it works. When you're unclean with an issue of, let's say it's the flour, what that brother want to do is not touch. If he touch you by accident, shoulder or something like that, that's too wild. He's not. He needs to avoid touching your area, your midsection, smacking you on the behind, and then things like that. He he can't do that unless he want to be unclean, because that's where a possibility of blood getting on him. The whole purpose of the law is to make sure the blood don't get on him or nobody else. You know, that's why it's where, you know, she sits somewhere he's not supposed to sit there until even, because it may have bled through onto the chair, and that's what's trying to be avoided. You know, any of touching of the blood. So when you're cooking and cleaning, you should be fine. You just don't want to be sitting in the same chairs that he have. And normally, how we do this in our culture is, we used to do it without even knowing. The man would have a chair that he would only sit in. That's his chair that his wife doesn't sit in. And that's usually his chair. And there's no chance of it becoming unclean from something like that because he doesn't sit in it. So having some designated furniture goes a long way to alleviating that. And for people who don't know, who's not as well versed with Israelite culture, you're just now learning, you're just not coming in. There's laws in the Bible concerning uncleanness when you're on your flour. And so if a sister sits in a chair when she's on the flour, if a man sits in that chair right behind her, then he's unclean. All right? He's unclean. Okay? So that's why, to avoid that, couples have their own chairs. All right? Now we had another good question. What about being unclean and serving him food? Now, being unclean and serving him food is not an issue. Okay? It's not an issue. If you serve him food while you're unclean, it doesn't automatically make him unclean. The spirit behind the law is to not get any blood on you, on anything, or on you, on him. So you sleep in different spots on the bed. You sit in separate chairs, or couches, or furniture. You don't always sit in the same furniture, and especially around the flower time, you want to avoid that. You don't have to sleep in a different bed. Let's get to the next part. Salaka, should he sleep in a different bed as well? You don't have to sleep in a separate bed. But what you do want to be mindful of is that you stay on your side of the bed while you're unclean. Okay? While you're unclean, you stay on your side of the bed. That way, if there is any type of leakage or anything like that, or bleeding through, it doesn't get, even if it gets on the bed, it doesn't get on his side of the bed, and then it gets on him, which is what's supposed to be, which is what this whole thing is about to avoid. The whole thing is to avoid any blood touching him or touching anybody else. So all you want to do is just stay on your side of the bed. All right. Another good question. Is there a waiting period after having your or our flower? The waiting period for the flower is automatically 7 days. Okay, 7 days. So if you have your period Tuesday during the daytime, that following Monday night, you're clean. So you'll be unclean 7 days, no matter how long your flower is. If you're still bleeding past 7 days, you automatically got to be unclean 9 days. So if you have still bleeding on the 8th day, you have to wait 2 more days. You'll be unclean for 9 days. Now, if you still bleeding after 9 days, it's every day. So until your bleeding stops, you're unclean. If you go past 21 days, then you have to see a doctor, see the priest of the Lord. Okay? And that during that time, the priests of the Lord were also acting as doctors, not actually being doctors, but giving assistance on alongside of doctors. Okay, in the priesthood way. So they'd say, okay, this uncleanness or this issue right here is not an unclean issue; it's this issue. All right, oh, this issue, see a doctor. So if it's past 21 days, obviously go see a doctor. Or whatnot. But if 7 days automatically, then 9 days if it goes past 7, then it's day-to-day basis past 9 days. So if your period lasted 11 days, then you be unclean 11 days. Okay. That's the law of uncleanness. When it comes to your flower. Okay. And so those are some good questions. And like I said, if you serving food to your man, you good. Now, when you're unclean, you're not to be around the congregation, right? So let's say you're unclean, but you're around a lot of people. You can still deal with food, but you don't want to come amongst all the people and giving out the food. You're gonna make the food, but you want to have some separation between you and the people of the congregation, which is a large gathering of people. Now, if we talking 4 or 5 people, that's not the congregation. We talking about the high holy days, the events of the Lord, those type of things. When you're unclean, you want to either not go, or you want to be in a separate area from the people. Okay. So if it's a UPK barbecue, but you're unclean, but you still want to step out and be around the barbecue, still be, see the brothers and stuff. You can come to the barbecue, but you want to be on the outside of the barbecue. Set up a little tent and table. That's the barbecue's here. Your tent and table little setup is just outside of all the commotion. Just outside of it, where people aren't walking by you, touching you, next to you. You're just outside of it and you can watch. Or if you're in a building, you want to be in a separate part of the building. While the congregation may be in the main part, you could be watching online, hearing it, seeing 1 or 2 people and talking to them, but you're not in the midst of the congregation. You're not around the people, unclean. That's how you want to deal with that. Like if you're serving food, it's a high holy day, but you're unclean. But you're by the school, you dropping off food, bringing some food. You bring the food, drop off food, serve some food, but you don't want to be around the congregation. You want to be slightly outside of them or in another separate room or area from the majority of the people, or where the people are gathering. All right, that's how you want to handle that. To keep the law of uncleanness, law of separation. So you're still separate from them. You're not just in the midst of them, in the middle of them, unclean. You're separated from them, unclean. Okay. And another question: If you have sex, in your bed, is your bed unclean? Should your child sit on your bed? All right, this is a good question. It's multi answer to it, multi-layered. So, if you have sex in your bed, it doesn't make your bed unclean unless the bodily fluids or semen get on the bed, right? Unless the semen or the seed gets on the bed, then you need to wash the sheets or wash the bed, or not the bed but the sheets, right? Then you wash the sheets and it's good. But just because you have sex on the bed doesn't make the bed unclean. Now, if the semen gets on the bed, you want to wash the bed before you may let children and other people sit on the bed. If semen didn't get on the bed but you had sex, obviously it's just you can. It's not the child can still sit on the bed. All right, it's not like it's you know contaminated or nothing like that. Child can sit on the bed. Child can be on the bed because no seed is on the bed, or no blood from the flowers on the bed. Those is what make it unclean. But just having sex on it doesn't make it unclean. Okay. Now, what was another piece to that? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you tawab on that. You know, um, but if any blood or semen get on that covers, you gotta go wash them or replace the sheets. You know what I mean? You gotta wash them and replace the sheets because it makes the bed unclean. Okay. So you good on that note. Still let the kids play in the bed or whatever. It's fine. You just want to be mindful if it gets. You want to be seeing if it got on there. If it got on there, you got to wash the sheets. If not, you good to go. Okay. Uh, because that's the laws of uncleanness right there. Just having sex doesn't make something unclean. It's when seed comes out. So let's say you start having sex with your woman, but you don't finish, where no seed comes out. You're not unclean. Neither one of you are unclean. But you're unclean when the seed comes out and the seed gets on things. That's unclean. All right. So you can do whatever you want with that information. But it is advised, to that's pretty much it on that. That's the concerning that. Okay. So, you know, so it's always important. Like you said, it's a good thing to have designated furniture in the house. At least some type of furniture where you know you may have a chair that everybody sits on or a couch that everybody sits on, but it's also good for the man or the woman to have a chair or that they can sit on, that only they sit on for these type of things. That's how Israelite culture usually is. All right, let's get another question. Okay. If a rib, let me see, change the graphics around a little bit. Okay. If a rib is feeling as though she is being punished by her Otawan, for people who don't know, Otawan means master teacher or lord or husband. It's another word for husband or her head. Is punished by her Otawan or husband for getting counsel. What should she do? Now, if you feel like you're getting punished for getting counsel, you need to keep getting counsel. Keep getting counsel. You don't want to stop getting counsel. Right? So, but you don't want to get counsel for things that you can handle and deal with yourself. Right? You want to get counsel for serious issues. Okay? Obviously, you don't want to, be like treating it like it's a game. You know what I mean? Like, oh, me and my husband mad at each other. I'm gonna call the school. But if you feel like you have to, call the school. The number's there. All right. But if you feel like you're being punished for getting counsel, you need to, obviously here you could be more clear. But what's making you feel like you're being punished? Maybe maybe he's just taking a step back so he can reevaluate things, so he can you know treat you right or be better or deal with situations better. That don't mean he's punishing you. So it would have to seem like what is the punishment he's doing, because it could be in your mind that he's punishing you for getting counsel when he's not. He not even thinking about that. He done already left and went past that and worried about something totally different. He's thinking about the Passover. He's thinking about getting his tax money. He's thinking about his kids growing up. He's thinking about his job. He's thinking about his car, his truck. He ain't thinking nothing about that call you got for counsel, which 9 times out of 10, he's not stunting that or worried about that at all. He wants you to call to get counsel. So that could be something that you noticing or you feeling or you thinking in your mind that you feel like you shouldn't have called and got counsel, when that's a demon. You should have called and got counsel. Okay, call the ISUBK is better than calling 911. Don't call them until you call us first, and then we'll let you know you need to call them or not. But you need to call the UPK. That split second of a phone call of calling us instead of calling Esau can stop a world of hurt. The cops can show up and shoot you and kill you. They can show up and throw you in jail for something small. You ready to go to sleep and forget about the whole argument. Here come the police. Hey, sir, we heard some people arguing. We heard some noise. Y'all done stopped arguing, relaxed, chilled, laying down. Here come the police. So you got the lights in your eye, guns pointed at you, ready to arrest people. Like, all right, we had an argument, but it's over now. You know how many times that happens in the black community? We have a squabble. A man and woman or family have a squabble. We done squashed the shit. Here come the police. State bringing up charges. The state bringing up this. We got a call. We did that. Police destroying the whole family when the family done got over the beef. So you best call the UPK. It's better than calling 911. So like I said, it could be just in your mind that you thinking that like he's so tripping over it. He ain't worried about it. Okay, he's worried about the work of the Lord, the Passover, whatever else is going on. He's past the fact that you called and got counsel. He's cool with that. You know what I mean? He's good. We're good. The men of the UPK are not scared or worried because our women call to get counsel. We just know what, a lot of times we don't want you to get called to get counsel because we know you in the wrong. And you going to hear it again. So we know, why you calling to get counsel when you was in the wrong? That's all that's going to happen. You're just going to waste our time because the counsel is going to come out how you was wrong and I said you was wrong. So that's sometimes with brothers, but brothers not sitting there trying to punish their wives. Like I said, that could be in your mind. All right. So just take a second and just move on from it. That's why we talked about in the beginning. Forgive. Whatever beef that was going on with you and your husband and had to get counsel over or whatever, just forgive everything about the situation and forget it and move on. You got the counsel, follow the counsel and move on. That's all you do. All right. We had another good question. Is it wrong to walk away or refuse to argue to de-escalate the situation with the intention of returning to the conversation after the other party has calmed down? Now, what you just said, my friend, is wise. Okay, it's using wisdom. All right. The scripture says, dang, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. A soft answer turneth away wrath. Right? A soft answer turneth away wrath. You understand? So you giving a softer answer as opposed to escalating it, that turns away the wrath. That calms the whole situation down. That's why we tell brothers don't be emotional. Woman coming, she's all emotional. You don't get all emotional also. You want to be in control. So, now sometimes the argument is something that needs to be addressed. You need to talk about it. You need to argue about it because that's why she's trying to argue with you and talk to you about it, because it's something that needs to be addressed. Maybe she wants you to check her. All right. Now, if you feel like you can't do that in person because she's too unstable, she putting her hands on you all the fucking time, well then you you leave the situation and you call and talk over the phone, talk over a video chat, and that takes the getting physical aspect off the table. And it also does another thing. If your argument gets real heated, either party can hang up and gather their thoughts without the other person like being in their face. So that's where you want to go with it. You want to be able to control the situation. And if you know it's best to control the situation from afar over the phone, over video chat, so we're not putting our hands on each other, then that's best. But it is wise to read a situation and decide how to move in the situation as opposed to just reacting to the situation. Just reacting, however, whatever happens, it just happens. And I just got mad and she got mad, and then we ended up in jail. We in court. We ended up crashed on the side of the road. You don't want that. So it is wise. It's not wrong to walk away or refuse to argue to de-escalate a situation. All right. Now, what you want to do also is, when you, sometimes what happens is, man may shut down and refuse to talk back because he's tired of talking. He don't want to talk to her no more. She's being unreasonable. Sometimes that moment, you need wisdom to know this is not the time to shut down. Okay. Because sometimes a lot of times, if you shut down and not deal with the situation, you are inviting the situation to grow and get worse. Like sometimes you just got to check her. You know what I mean? And you learn how to do that in the Israelite School of UPK. Sometimes you got to learn how to put her in her place. Not sometimes. I mean, that happens. You're going to have to know how to do that all the time, really. Like, you're going to have to know how to put her in her place. Depending on the type of woman you have, how much strength you have to exert to do that. So you got to understand that's always got to be considered. You understand? You got to always consider, I got to handle this right here, right now. Even though I don't feel like it, even though I'm done talking, I don't want to talk, I want to relax. You shouldn't get in a relationship then if you only want to do what you want to do. Sometimes she needs somebody to check her and tell her as what's right and what's up, and tell her about herself, so she can feel, so she can get that education from you. That's how you check. When you check a woman, you're supposed to be teaching her, and the checking is not a teaching in a nice way. All right, it's teaching in a rough way. Okay, but overall, it's still teaching her. So you sometimes you don't want to miss those opportunities, or you have to take those opportunities to put her in her place through you teaching her. But you're not teaching in a nice way. You mad, you yelling at you don't, you know what I'm saying? You making faces, you biting your lip, you telling her this I'm not the motherfucking one. You know what I mean? So somebody said, a sister said, why can't it go both ways? If you gotta check your husband, you need to get counsel, because that's unnatural. That's why the scripture says the woman and the man leaving the natural use of each other. Basically, it's unnatural for the woman to have to check her man. Not to say it doesn't happen and not needed sometimes, but it's unnatural. You see what I'm saying? It's like your child checking the parents. Do you think, some parents is out of fucking order and they 12-year-old got to tell them something, but it's unnatural. So if the 12-year-old telling them, Mom, you need to stop getting drunk, Yeah, the child is right. Yeah, the mom is wrong. But because it's so unnatural, that sometimes it's not effective. All right. Sometimes it's not effective. Okay. It's like you go to your job and a new guy on the job comes on and he starts telling you how to do your job. Even if he's right, it's just unnatural that, bro, you just got here. Don't tell me how to do my job. So it may just be ineffective. It's better if it came from your boss how to do it better or how to do it right, as opposed to a new person who you have more experience than that. So that's the thing with a woman checking her man. She checking her man, but it's unnatural. It's like your child. It's like a child checking his mother. Yeah, he could be right. He could be, she probably might need to hear it. Who knows? But it's unnatural. Okay. So that's why you want to. That's how you want to look at it, sis. When it comes to like having to check your man about some shit, um, get counsel. Come call the Israelite School UPK. Say, look, my husband is tripping. This and that. This and that is going on. This and that is going on. What should I do? And we'll give you the counsel, sis. So you don't have to do something that's unnatural. That majority of the time isn't effective. Okay, it's not effective. A woman checking her husband or checking the man she's sleeping with, which is the same thing in our eyes. The man you're sleeping with is your husband. All right. Mhm. Because naturally, the man is the head. So naturally, the man should be leading. He should be leading the family. You know, not getting corrected by the family, right? He should be showing the family the future, and how to do things, and giving them hope, and teaching them what to do with themselves. All right. Yep. So like I said, this is Take Ground Radio, Take Ground Breakdowns, Matrix Sessions. It's time to wake up from the Matrix. Get right with the Most High. It's only a little bit of time left. We're live at 5:30 every Wednesday. ISUBK Indianapolis on YouTube. ISUBK Indiana on Facebook. We're also, I believe, on Twitter as well. So, you know, it's time to get right. It's time to really change. It's time to really, mature to that next level. Stop being where we putting hands on each other all the time. The scripture said, "Wicked man or wicked woman teaches with their fingers." What does it mean? Teach with your fingers? It means you got to put your hands on somebody all the goddamn time. Keep your hands to yourself and learn how to use your words. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Stay in control to get your best goal. You know what I mean? To get your best outcome. She said, "How about AZ?" I don't know what AZ means. I don't know what you mean when you ask, "How about AZ?" So, but like I said, there's only a little bit of time left. Type them questions in. Type them questions. Relationship advice, man. Not only from your significant other, your friends, your family, your co-workers, all these things, all these relationships are important to Christ, to the Most High. And important for our people to mend. Christ said, if you don't love your neighbor like you love yourself, you're not doing nothing. Oh, how about Arizona? Yeah, we got a school out in Arizona, a wonderful school out in Arizona, out in Phoenix, I believe. Wonderful brothers out there. You can call that number. Go to isubk.com and you'll find the list of all the schools across the country and across the world. Trinidad, UK, Jamaica, Mexico, Detroit, Chicago, Phoenix, Arizona. And you want to save that number in your phone. Call that number and let them introduce yourself. Go visit a class or two. So you can always have that extra ally that you need to help your relationship, especially when you're coming into the truth. When you come into the truth and changing your life and find out you're an Israelite and you're not living like a heathen anymore, you're gonna want that counsel. Type them questions in, ask your questions. It's Take Ground Radio. All right, we got another question here. He asked, if a sister leaves the truth and returns after a year or two. All right, and for people who may not understand, when in the UPK, leaving the truth means you stop reporting, you stop coming to high holy days, you stop attending classes. That's leaving the truth. Okay, and you return after a year or two. How are we to treat her? Now, when a person leaves the truth, let's say they came in the truth and they got their Hebrew name, or they became a trooper, or they got a certain rank. When they leave the truth, when they come back, you don't treat them like that person anymore. You don't treat them like they're who they was before. You treat them like they're just a new student that showed up. Right? They lose their rank. If there was a sister in good standing, they lost that. They're gonna have to re-earn that. And so you just treat them as a new student who comes in. You don't give them no privileges of somebody who's been in the school for a while or nothing like that. You just treat them like a whole new person that came in the classes. It says, do we pick up as if nothing ever happened, or does she redo her 90 days to shed herself? She will have to redo her 90 days. That's why I said she loses all rank and standing. Now, usually they keep their Hebrew name, but we may not call them that. They're gonna have to do that 90 days again, to where we really call them that and consider them a sister, and they get the rights of a sister in the school. So that when they first come back, they have no standing anymore. They got to start from nothing, from zero. She can't get no money from the school. She can't get nothing from the school. She can't get special treatment from the school as if she was a sister. She gets treated as a new person that just walked off the street, and they can come in and learn. All right. And so they just come into class again and learn all over again. That's that. That's why we started this, is forgiveness. We're not going to hold no grudge because the person got weak. If they come back, they sit back in class and sit back down and do it. And let's try it again. The scripture said, a righteous man falleth 7 times, but rises 8 times. I'm paraphrasing, something like that. So it don't matter how many times you fall, rise and pick yourself back up. Rise up and pick yourself back up. Okay, so that's what she's gonna have to do. Pick herself all the way back up from the bottom. She start right back from the bottom. Ask some questions. That was a great question. Because you're gonna deal with that a lot. People who coming in and out the truth. Now, the only time a person would get treated a certain way is if they were kicked out of the school. If they were kicked out of the school, then they have to go through um even in so also she has to have a council with the generals. Whenever a person leaves the truth and comes back, they have to have a council with the generals, for the most part, explaining why they left the truth and why they're coming back. That's usually how it goes. They deal with your camp leader for that specific stuff, you know. But that if you're not the camp leader, then you wouldn't really worry about that. You would just she would handle that on her own without you knowing about it or none of that. Now, if you were kicked out of the school, that's a different story. If you were kicked out of the school, then you definitely got to have a council with the generals to come back. All right. So um, that's a subtle difference right there. All right. All right. We at 6:30. We at the hour mark. We usually wrap it up around this time. If anybody got any more questions, please type them in now. This is Take Ground Radio, Take Ground Breakdowns, Matrix Sessions. Time to wake up from the Matrix and get right with the Most High. This is Captain Kaposh, under Commander Jenny Ahana of the ISUPK. This is Relationship Advice. We're live at 5:30 every Wednesday. Tune in. ISUPK Indianapolis on YouTube. ISUPK Indiana on Facebook. You tune in. ISUPK Worldwide also on Facebook. Tune in every Wednesday. It's a little bit of time left, man. This kingdom is falling. Babylon is fallen. It's fallen. And it's become the hold of every foul creature and every doleful bird. You know, which basically means this is demon central. There's nothing but demons here in America. So protect yourself. Get right with the Lord. Get on his side. Because you never know when it's going to be the end for you. Nobody knows. Salaka, sir, speaking on someone getting kicked out the school, if that brother or sister has a business we've been supporting, are we still able to support that brother or that sister? Now, if a brother or sister was kicked out of the Israelite School of UPK and they had a business, now, at that point, you would want to get counsel from your camp leader for the specifics, because some people might have got kicked out of the school, but they're not. It's not like with prejudice. Some people kicked out of school and they're told they're never allowed to come back. If we're not allowed to be associate with them, unfriend them on Facebook, all these things because they did something egregious that we don't want to. We cannot be associated with them no more. Everything is done from them. So you don't want to be sitting there buying something from somebody who was molesting a child or something, or you buying something from them and all they doing is buying drugs and getting high with it. You just really supporting their drug habit. So it just depends on something like that. You would have to get counsel from your camp leader about the specific person. Like some people, they did something really, really wrong that they have to atone for, and we're not to support them anymore with anything because they may have put brothers' lives in danger, or they may have talked bad on the school, or disrespected brothers that did nothing but help them. So some brothers, we're gonna say, no, do not support that brother, and it would stay away from him. Treat him like a heathen. That's what the scripture says. All right, we would treat some like a heathen. Now, but everyone ain't gonna be like that. Some be put out of school, but they still a great brother. They kind of just wasn't doing a good enough job. It kind of got nudged out, and they left. Or some was like, I'm talking really kicked out to never return and frowned upon. Okay, so it just depends on the case by case for something like that. Because I know cats that was in the school and they didn't leave. They left. They wasn't really kicked out like that, but they left and they lost all their rank and lost all their stuff, and they still help brothers. They still help brothers with things. So, you know, we're not gonna, stop that. But if somebody did something egregious, we will stop that. Because they're a danger to our school and to the people and to the brothers and the sisters. They're a danger to everyone around them. Okay, you sitting there trying to support some brother's business or some sister's business. Next thing you know, you over there supporting her business, and they get shot up at a drive-by from a fucking drug deal that they screwed over. And you get shot by a drive-by trying to support some business of somebody the school ain't fucking with no more. How you think that's gonna look? We're gonna sit there and say, man, shit, you shouldn't have even been with that person. But we'll pray for you while you're in the hospital with that bullet wound. So you want to be careful who you associating with people who left the truth. Like I said, it's case by case, because some may be dangerous to associate with. Some, they just they'll be back, or they just left and they might come back, or they're still cool. They're not dangerous. All right. Type any more of them questions. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up. Like I said before, man, this is Take Ground Radio, Take Ground Breakdowns, Matrix Sessions. Wake up out the Matrix. Bring forth fruits meet for repentance. Lay up your folly ground. Don't stop sleeping. It's time to wake up. Wake up to the truth. Go to isupk.com for more info. Come learn from the brothers and sisters. We got class across the board tonight at 7 p.m. in about 20 minutes on this channel and on hundreds of other channels across the internet. That ISUPK. We have class every 7 to 9 p.m. Monday through Fridays. All right, so that class should be live on this channel at 7. We will be live on this channel at 7 as well. You can tune in again. Today is the law class, so you can get it more into the uncleanness laws, more into any laws in the scriptures and everything like that. In 1 Samuel 19:24, when Saul prophesied naked, was this literal? When he was chasing down David? Now, naked in the Bible is not naked like what you think of today. Not all the times, right? So if I had my shirt off, or if I had a wife beater on, let's say a wife beater. If I had a wife beater on, or a little muscle shirt where my arms and shoulders are being shown, I get a call and they say, "Why are you naked online, brother? Why are you showing your nakedness on the internet, doing a school teaching?" Right? Because that's naked to an Israelite culture in the priesthood. It's naked to have a wife beater on. That's my nakedness. So Samuel, don't think that he was just dingling hanging, a rod hanging, and cheeks hanging and stuff like that. Think it was like his undershirt. Okay, his undershirt, that's also naked in the scriptures. Okay, because he got his garment, he's got the girdle, he's got his belt, he's got his this, he's got his that. Well, if the damn garment comes off and he's got an undershirt on, and that's his nakedness being shown right at that point. All right, so I don't think it gets too specific in the scripture, but understand that's in Israelite culture. You're a woman wearing some short shorts. She's naked. Her nakedness is showing in Israelite culture. But to y'all like, yeah, we looking good. You on the beach, you're walking around, it's hot. Those is fine. Little Daisy Dukes, that's not naked. What do you mean? That's naked to Israelites. Okay? So, because Israelites don't show their skin like that. Okay? Like, really, this shirt is showing as much skin as it needs to show. It don't need to show no much more than this. If this was any higher, it'd be naked. You know what I mean, right? It need to be covered at shoulder. Need to cover them shoulders, man. Don't be trying to, I know you got brothers got them boulder shoulders and everything, but don't be showing your nakedness. You understand? So that's the deal with that. Yeah. All right. So, like I said, we usually wrap it up about now. You know what it is. Take Ground Radio, Take Ground Breakdowns, Matrix Sessions. Wake up from the Matrix. Get right with the Lord. There's only a little bit of time left. Let's play a good banger to hit to end the class in. Man, go to ishbk.com. Get ready for the Passover. April 15th. Go to Cocoa Beach, Florida. Go to ishbk.com, our website. You'll get all the information you need. Pay your tithes. 10% of all money you earn go to the men of the Lord. You understand? With that said, shalom.
Yeah, blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking knocks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop. Yeah, blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking knocks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Solana on my eye, we won't stop. Setting them zones, taking back the block. They don't wanna know what we be like. Home of the truth, in the bed, gon' watch. Giving the word, making this move. We can't stop, we can't lose. At the school, start your new. One way school, lace your boots, call it the truth. I can go really straight out the damn zoo. Fuck with the I cannot pocket your do. Everybody tryna be a Hebrew, yeah. Who the fucking with the one west? I don't know nobody in the flesh. Up in the news and we talk to the press. I'll put the sword to your neck. Who next to flex? I suggest you stay out the way. Won't feel like every day. Hey, one way to PK. Hey, ain't no other way. Hey, we won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop. Yeah, blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking knocks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop. Yeah, blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking eyes, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me?